Hello friends, old and new. I've had an overwhelming response to my first two videos, the first one in particular, where I explained to you all, what's up with me, what I'm going through. I never in a million years imagined that you would all be so kind and so responsive. And to be honest with you, I didn't know that many of you cared. So that's been a real shock to me, and the messages that I've been receiving have literally blown me away. I keep rereading them because they bring me an element of strength that I don't have otherwise. So thank you so much for all of them, and please keep them coming because they mean so much more to me than you can possibly begin to imagine. I want to talk about a subject that is really difficult for me. It's a bit of a difficult and awkward one, so if you're not up for the awkward, you should probably stop here. It's nearly impossible for me to imagine what it must be like to how can I put this? And again, please forgive me if I forget my words. As I explained, in case you missed the first video, I suffer from memory fog, and that makes me just forget everything. I forget huge chunks of things. I forget events. I forget words, all kinds of things. So please do forgive me if I go for long lulls, just silent, because I'm trying to find the words that I'm looking for. Please forgive me for that. I can't have a point of reference for what it must be like to be an older person who is beholden and dependent on other people in the same way that I would imagine it's very hard for you to understand what it's like for me to be not beholden, and dependent upon others for my basic care needs. When I say basic care needs, I mean washing yourself, dressing yourself, the luxury of putting lotion on, and like your toileting needs. These are all things that should just happen like that. They should go without saying. It's second nature. Don't even think about it. Well, I'm not able to do any of those things. I haven't been able to do them for over a year and a half. I need help for all of them, hence why I have carers and why I have a very amazing mum who helps me with all of these things. And obviously this is a very sensitive matter, so please, be nice because I'm sensitive about it. As I'm sure you can imagine you would be too in my position. No matter how much you have people willing to help you and people who may see it as nothing, I can't fathom whether or not they do or they don't, because I'm not in that position. But as much as you're told it's nothing, it doesn't matter, don't think about it, don't worry about it, you cannot help feeling like a burden. And I'm not allowed to say that word, when certain ears are around. Hello, mum. Because it's treated as an offensive word. So I'm not allowed to say it. Even my carers won't let me say it. But irrespective of that, it's near impossible not to feel like a burden when you make a mess of something and you can't clean it up for yourself. You know, you watch other people having to jump up and run around after you, and you feel like such a drain on them, on their energy, on their time, on their existence in each and every day. You can't not. And no matter how much you're told, it doesn't matter, don't worry about it, it's fine. You can't not worry about it. It always matters. It never feels fine. Alright? It always feels like you're in the way and you're causing problems that wouldn't be there if you weren't around. And thus, therefore, by you being around, you are a problem in and of yourself. That's how it feels. And I don't think there is anything that can be done about that. I don't think there is a... Sorry. I don't think there is a way in which you can eradicate that feeling, because that feeling is just part and parcel of the territory. You know, from putting my socks on to helping me, you know, get my underwear on and stuff. It's just, I can't explain to you what it feels like. And it makes you angry to an extent, because you shouldn't have to feel that. You shouldn't have to know what that feels like at this age. You're not supposed to know. So the fact that you do makes it so much harder to deal with, because you don't... I'm sorry, I'm having an emotional moment, so you have to bear with me. You shouldn't have to know what that feels like, because it's not right. You're not supposed to know. And the fact that you do just means that life feels way too unfair, and at the same time you feel like you've got no right feeling that life is unfair, because there are people who are suffering with so much worse than you are, who would count your life a blessing. And no matter what hardships you think you're going through, there are people who would count your life a blessing. So for you to complain about what you're dealing with just seems petty and trivial. It's just not a nice way to spend your days, you know? It's not a nice feeling to wake up to. It's not a nice feeling to have throughout the day. I don't really know how better to explain it than that. I've started off trying to explain something that I finished off not knowing where to go with. I'm sorry. But I hope you can understand what I'm trying to say. Just why I thought that I felt the need to say something just for a second, because it's a really horrible thing. And as much as I realise I shouldn't moan and complain, because I have amazing people here who help me, who other people would kill to have, at the same time, you cannot help feeling like you're getting in their way. You cannot help feeling like you're a drain on them. Like, you're just bringing their day down. There's no way to get around that feeling, and it's just not a nice way to be. So I'm going to shut up now, because to be honest with you, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. So the usual. Do you think a peace sign?